Hey everybody, this is Jonathan Marr, the hometown historian. We're out here on a dreary, slightly chilly, windy day here in Pennsylvania on, I believe, Tuesday. It's October something, 24th or something like that. A quick look here. It won't let me. 26th. So, I wanted to put a quick update out. I haven't done a video here for a little bit. I've had a number of people that have contacted me just to make sure that I'm okay, and I am. I still have a little bit of the issues with the breathing and with the coughs, as you can see. That's just something that I'm going to have for right now. I'm going to see about going to the doctor, and maybe it's possible for me to get like a asthma inhaler or something like that, because I did struggle with asthma before in the past. I had a job back, I think it was like 2000. Somebody mixed an ammonia-based chemical and a chlorine-based chemical on me, and never told me. And I was using the chemical, the resulting chemical I was using in sort of a not very well ventilated bathroom, and burnt my lungs pretty severely. It took about 7 years for my lungs to heal, if you will, and unfortunately, I've sort of dealt with stuff since. Now, I haven't had any major asthma issues or had to use an inhaler for quite a while, but it's still one of those things. With breathing in as much dirt as I breathed in earlier in the year, in May, during the dry season, um, it's just something I've dealt with since. And then when I got that cold or flu, that sort of threw me for a loop. I got a little more phlegmed up, and it's really having quite a lot of issues with the coughing and breathing. So that's way better. I decided to take like 2 weeks. A lot of people had said to me, sort of like, common sense, John. Just, I was really stubborn. I wanted to get a video out every single day, and it was just sort of like, listen, we're going to be here yet. Just take care of yourself. And I finally decided I was originally going to take a couple days, but I decided I'm going to take about 2 weeks and just let my body sort of heal and relax. And it seemed to be working quite well, because when I did get sick, I actually quarantined for basically about 10 days because I was slightly concerned that I had COVID, and which turns out I didn't. But because we sort of thought we got it towards the beginning when they said it came in a lot earlier than they had originally said or thought, like October of 2019. My family's never been that sick in November, right around coming up to Thanksgiving, and they were sick for about a month, and all the telltale signs of it. And my mom and I had both gotten sick, but we had basically stayed in place, so we didn't have to wind out dealing with that. And because my mom's health was not that good at that time, she was still living at home, so I tried to keep her away from everybody, so there wasn't a possibility of her getting sick. And I actually had our next door neighbors, a really sweet lady, Krista, and she actually passed away from it. Which I'm not sure if she passed away from the COVID or if it was the pneumonia that got her, but it was real sudden, and it was a shame because she was such a sweetheart. She originally was from Germany, and she used to go over to visit her dad, and she had married, I believe it was an army colonel, and then wound up coming over to the U.S. But she'd go over to Germany, visit her dad, and she always brings back some kind of German tin of chocolates or cookies or something like that. It was just, I really always really adored her, and it was really sad when she passed away. But that was sort of the thing we were trying to avoid with my mom. We were fortunate in that regard that she never got uh, really, really sick. But anyways, it might not have been COVID back then, because I think at some point when she was in the nursing home, you know, they wound out saying that she had COVID. So I'm not really sure what happened there. So, but anyways, it's not COVID. I'm fortunate in that regard, and but I decided to take these 2 weeks because it was just, I was really feeling pretty raw. It's the worst I've felt in a while, and so I decided that that would be the best course of action. I am hoping potentially maybe on my way over to my sister's, because I got to go download this at her place, because I'm having issues with my internet right now. Uh, so I might do a Country Roads Take Us Home, but I'm thinking I'm probably not going to start filming until this weekend again, and I'll probably be filming with my camera phone for the next little bit until this gets fixed, um, and then I'll start using the new camera. But for right now, I just trying to take my time as much as I can. My last 3 days of work are Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, which that's a blessing. I really enjoy what I do, but physically it does take a toll on me. And so this will be the last 3 days of mowing, and then I'm done for the year with landscaping. I do have work that I've lined up for myself, and then I'll talk to my one friend who's in staffing and seeing if there are options out there for me, because I really, as much as I enjoy this and as much as I am really thankful for the job, it is one of those things that probably ultimately, just with the physical issues that I have and my limitations, it's probably not the best thing for me to be doing. If anything, it's probably hampered my healing efforts, because my surgeon for the longest time, he didn't want me to go out and start working till the end of July, but I ultimately had to do it beginning of April. So technically, I only had about 2 months to heal right after a major surgery, and coming back from having sepsis at least once, but most likely I had it several other times. And I think as well, part of what knocked me down, knocked me for a loop, is the clindamycin, which is the antibiotic I take. When you take it for 10 days, it doesn't take a real big toll on you, but once you do the second 10-day regimen, it has a habit of really messing up your system quite a bit. And that's sort of, at this point, because I've had to take it so many times, because of having to deal with infection as commonly as I've had, it's one of those things that it doesn't work as thoroughly as it should. So there was a little bit of concern as well that I'd have to go back in the hospital and maybe get back on an IV line of antibiotics, and I really did not want to be back on like a PIC line. So I did that for a month and a half, made it through, but I go stir crazy if I had to stay at home. And unfortunately, I've had to do that a couple times, and I don't enjoy it. It is what it is. You got to do what you got to do to get better, but I'd prefer not to go down that path if I can again. But anyways, I do appreciate everybody has been really, really kind and thoughtful and asking how I'm doing, and making sure that I'm not pushing myself too hard. And I think to a degree I probably was, and that's why I sort of stepped back. But I am hoping to get back on that, and with not having to do the harder landscaping and able to work more at my pace with the work that I'm going to be doing, I should be able to get back to pretty much every single day. And as we get further and further here in the winter, depending on the weather, which at this point it sounds like December's going to be pretty tame, so maybe we're going to have a pretty light winter. I may be able to get out pretty much and keep the content coming out, but be forewarned on that as well. But I do appreciate everybody just commenting and saying, making sure that I'm okay. And I've had a couple of folks that contacted me directly via email and that type of stuff, just to ask. So this is not only going to be a vlog, it's also going to be mail time, because I got a number of my first cards and packages through the mail, through the P.O. box, so I do appreciate that. On every single video in the description, there's always the different ways of contacting me, as well as P.O. box and that type of stuff. So that is available, and it's there, just so everybody's made aware of that again. I am planning on, I have the first viewer submitted video for the Pennsylvania historical markers. I'm hoping that I'll be able to get put together over the next couple days by Colleen, who has an Instagram called I believe it's the Well-Grounded Life, and I'll be putting that up there when I put that video up, to give her full credit, because she's actually the one that came up with the idea as well, and I think it's a brilliant idea, because it does give the viewers a chance to send those pictures in and be recognized, and be a part of the channel, beyond just being a viewer, because I do want to do that in some way, try to make this a channel that's very involved and inclusive with the viewers, because at the end of the day, I know I say it a lot, but it is true, this channel doesn't happen without you all. It really doesn't. So your support means the world to me, and I'm really fortunate in that I have the best viewers, I think, in the world. But so I have a few ideas I'm going to throw your way as well. One of them is, now that I'm doing the last couple videos, I think it was the Isaac Meyer video, the Jacob Albright video, which was a Pennsylvania historical marker video, and sorry, and what was the other one? The Michter's Brewery, also known as or Distillery, and Bomberger's Distillery, which is what it was originally known as. Now that I've gotten where I can do the audio over video and pictures, something I'm considering doing is, and this would be another viewer thing that could be part of it as well, would be another series with it is I'd like to do different historical videos, especially once I go into the World War I and World War II series. I'd like to do stuff that I want to do as many of my videos as possible live video, but I also am really intrigued in doing sort of documentary style, intriguing stories that maybe not everybody is aware of that are from those time periods. And that might be something as well that viewers can submit an idea. I can research that, even if they send me pictures, all that type of stuff, and I can do that kind of stuff because I want this to be more than just Pennsylvania history as well. And maybe this is a little further down the road that I get comfortable and I'm back to using my laptop and all that kind of stuff, so I can do a little bit better editing and those types of things. But I think that's something that could be really fun with the channel as well. So I do believe we have a lot coming up that is going to be really, really cool. I did get an invitation from an individual that's local, Campbelltown region, which is south from here, and there's a family farm plot called, I believe it's the Muma. It's Muma and something else, but those are the families that the farm plot is for. And I had found it on Find a Grave, but a lot of the times these small family plots are on private land, so you don't have access to them. But anyways, at this particular, the guy contacted me, the gentleman that owns the property. So at some point, I'm hoping in the near future, I'll be able to get together with him, especially being that I'm now going to have a lot more time and work with him with something that works. And I really do appreciate that he offered me that opportunity, because it's going to be cool. And I'm going to contact, there's another gentleman that's, he runs the North Annville history group on Facebook, and he just ran a tour of Kaufman's, I think, United Methodist Church, their cemetery. I would have loved to have gone to that, but I am going to contact him and see if he's potentially interested in doing a video and maybe doing a walkthrough on it, and then give whatever shout out he would like me to the organizations that he runs, because he's a really cool guy and I really like the group, because there's a lot of things I've learned about the local area here that I didn't know before, and this guy knows this stuff. So I learned a lot of stuff about the Heilman family with the Hill Lutheran Church, so that was a pretty neat thing to learn. I would have liked to have made it this weekend, but I just still not feeling terribly great. I'm getting there, but it's still not 100%. So hopefully in the near, like maybe next 2 weeks, I'll be able to start getting out and doing things where I feel comfortable enough walking and moving around that I'll be able to start doing some of these more involved videos again. But for right now, that's the reason I've been doing a lot of the Pennsylvania historical markers and then driving videos, because it's just something I physically can handle. And I know you all understand that. You guys have been awesome, really awesome. So I think what I'm going to go to next is I'm going to go back inside. I was hoping the chilliness would get me talking a little quicker. It didn't. Sorry. And we're going to do mail time, because I've gotten a bunch of really awesome cards and gifts from a number of people, and I really do appreciate that. So we will see you inside here in a second. Thanks, everybody. Alright, so we're inside. There's a few things I just want to make note of before I do the mail, that I had forgotten to talk about. One of the things also that I had talked about, and I think possibly vlog number 7, I had mentioned that something I do that I've done, I started around 21, 22, so 20 years ago or so. For about 10 years, I did a lot of writing, and I go by the author name J.P. Walborn, and something I might do is called Story Time, and I'll actually talk about the book series and the individual books, and maybe read chapters from that and stuff like that. I'll probably do the prologue of the first book that I'll put out. It's called The Boys of the Fallen Sun and the Risen Moon, which is actually a 6-book series if it comes to the culmination of what I want it to actually be. But I have that completely mapped out. But that was the first one that I really got to the point where it's almost completely finished. It's just one of those things I probably had for 10 years, a lot of different writing. I probably have about 6 or 7 projects that are almost right there. Every writer has sort of their own process. Some people, they do 4 or 5 drafts. I'm probably more like the 15 to 20 drafts. I'm pretty anal retentive with my writing. I do my own editing, and then I have a friend who's an editor. I want to try to have her come in and then do the final edit on my books. and then I'm going to be releasing them myself, which that'll be something that I'll share with all of you, and maybe eventually do this as a shared channel between JP Walburn, the writer, and the hometown historian. But I also would like to do, because I've really fallen in love with photography again. That was something I always really, really enjoyed. I took classes on. I have been just primarily using my camera phone, and it's worked out pretty good. Like I said before, Instagram makes my pictures look better than they probably are. Still a lot to learn. I nowhere near my friends Cliff, Kurt, and Jay, who I think are just phenomenal photographers. But I would like to eventually do stuff with those book-wise that I think would be something that would be worth pursuing. One of them, which would probably be about a year and a half away, would be a book called Seasons, where I go to the same location, the same angle, and take the same picture, but in all 4 seasons. I think that'd be something that'd be a pretty cool, like, coffee table type book. But it's something that I really, really enjoy, and something I've really fallen in love with doing with this channel. And once again, I appreciate all the support in that regard. And like I said, one of the things I want to potentially do is called like story time, where I maybe read a chapter or a prologue or something like that from the books, and then maybe talk about the series or the individual books and explain what they're about and give a general idea. And I think it'd be something cool to share with you guys from personal experiences like that. But so with that, I am going to pull out the cards. I want to thank first Kim. She had contacted me, I believe, via Messenger for the hometown historian, and she had said, "Is there anything that you need right now, book or whatever?" Because she had asked about Patreon as well as a number of other people. I think once we get around maybe say 800 subscribers, and I'm back where I'm putting up the content like I want to be pretty much every single day. You know, we're at, I think, at 520 subscribers right now and about 3,300 watch hours. So the watch hours is pretty close. And once I start getting those videos up again that are a little longer than a lot of these historical Pennsylvania historic markers are 5-minute videos, so it doesn't really build your time up. Once I'm able to start building that time up again, I'll get that pretty quickly. I still think, well, I originally, if I had been able to continue putting the videos out the way I had been, and the size of the videos, I think by the end of October here, I probably would have reached that. But with everything that's happening, I had to take the step back. So, but she had asked me about books, and one of the series that I like is called Images Across America. They also have one that's called Postcards Across America. Like, this is Lidditz. I have another one here for Mannheim, which are south of here. Really cool books that have a lot of information in. I have one on Annville Township here, Cornwall, and I believe the other one is Shenandoah. But it just, she had asked about it, and I gave her the website, and this is the book because I want to do a lot of stuff on Lidditz. Thank you, Kim. I have learned a lot from this book. Count Zinzendorf, which we talked about for the Pilger Rue video, he's actually the person that started this town. This is one that's infamous as well because Regis Philbin, I guess they had a viewer call in to that morning show that he did with Kathy Lee, and he called it Lititz. And the producer's like, "I don't think it's pronounced that way, Regis." He's like, "Oh." It's like, it's Pennsylvania like German, it's Lititz. But that is a neat town. They actually just did, one of my friends posted some, I guess they just did like a Hallmark video, like one of those Christmas Hallmark videos there, because it's just a pretty town. So we're going to be visiting there, and I'm going to do a whole slew of videos there. And I might actually talk to my friend Kurt. I got to call him yet, but he just did a bunch of photography on covered bridges, and see if he's interested in doing a video series on covered bridges, because that's not something that I think a lot of the nation has necessarily. That's more of this type of area, but there aren't a ton of them left. But apparently there's 2 right in the Lidditz area. There's also one, I believe, in Mannheim. But Mannheim and Lidditz are pretty close to each other, so they might be including the same covered bridge. But there's a lot of history, and they're just really, really pretty. I think one of the first pictures I put up for my Facebook page was a covered bridge. And, which, honestly, I stole that picture just to have a cool picture. Because I couldn't find some of my pictures, because I had everything on my old laptop, which died. So I just went, and I finally was able to get some of my pictures then off of Facebook, but I had to sort of search through and take what I could. But anywho, that there's a lot of cool stuff in Lidditz, and I'd like to do a lot of filming there. And as I said before, I'm sort of spreading out. Most of my stuff's been in Lebanon County, Pennsylvania. I have done some stuff in Berks County and Dauphin County and Schuylkill County. I've done some in all of those counties, but I'm also going down. That'll be down in Lancaster County. So there's a lot of really, really neat history that's only an hour or so away, and so that I really do appreciate that, Kim. That was awesome. I also had somebody contact me. I believe she was Carolyn, who had contacted me on Facebook Messenger, and she had asked. She wanted. She had actually been the one that came up with the idea for me doing the driving videos. It was something Cliff had done with the Pennsylvania highways and byways, like scenic highways. And it was something that interested me, but I wasn't sure whether I wanted to do it. And Carolyn had contacted me and said, "Hey, I think this is something you do really well at." And she had says, like, since I sort of threw the idea your way, I want to help you out with some gas money. And she gave a really nice gift, and it meant a lot. I had said to her it meant a lot, and it really did, because it came at a good time, because it was sort of struggling a little bit, because that was right after I had to do that 10-day quarantine. So that took care of gas, that took care of some groceries, and it got me through to my next paycheck. So that was an extraordinary blessing. So Carolyn, I really do appreciate that. I mean, that was extraordinary. Like I appreciate, like, your guys' support means the world. Like, it's great. Like I've said it a number of times, for your confidence doing this, having people sort of support you and say, "Hey, you're doing a good job. We really appreciate what you do." It helps you keep going, because you honestly, when you go into this, you have no idea whether you're going to stink at this or not, because not everybody has the personality to make it work. And I like the one thing I like with Cliff that I've seen a number of people say is, like, you're like the Bob Ross of chill videos, which I think is such a cool compliment. And I had the one lady ask me if I was a school teacher, which that was really cool, because it's something I've considered, and it meant a lot, because it means that, you know, a number of people have said they put me on in the background. I was like, it's not like I don't want to look at you or something like that, but it says I enjoy just hearing you talk. And that, you know, a lot of people, I thought it was really cool, because I always used to do, like, when I was younger, I used to do, like, different voice imitations and stuff like that. And it's not an imitation, because apparently I sound like Jimmy Stewart sometimes when I'm talking, and I don't realize it. So that's sort of cool too. It brings some people some joy with hearing. It's like, oh, he sounds like Jimmy Stewart, and you know that's cool. So there's a lot of things like that really you really enjoy. There's a number of people have been joking around me. One guy said, "Yeah, I need to stay away from women." It's like that. I got his joke, and so I thought it was really funny. But anyways, I just wanted to say thank you. And then I have here as well, I got a card from Colleen. That's the same Colleen that did the first viewer video that is submitted. And she has that Instagram. I'm going to put all that up on that video and really push that as well, because I really appreciate Colleen. She's always one of the first people that comments, and it's just really cool. And you know, she has one. It's for me and Cliff. She actually sent us some cards so we can go out to eat together and stuff like that. But really awesome message. I really, really appreciate it, because these things, they really do mean a lot. And when you get these, it's for me, like, the gifts are awesome, but like the thought behind them, and you know, the genuine support, that means a lot. It really does. And it just, so many people have been so good to me with this, and it means the world. So let me get this next. It's sort of hard to do this with one hand. That's the one advantage Cliff has when you have the camera on the stand. You could get, so this cool building. I love the old brick structures. It reminds me of some of those churches and stuff like that. And this card, if I can get it open, this is from Julia, and she's actually from right near me as well. And I've had a couple people say, like, the town that she's in, to go there, and it has a lot of really awesome history. But I've had one gentleman who said about going to the one local cemetery because there's quite a cool individual, and I actually got to meet the guy, and he's actually one of the people that's thanked in Boys of the Fallen Sun, the Risen Moon, because he was really kind gentleman, and but she sent a really awesome card, a really nice message, and she sent a gift as well. Thank you very, very much. That gift helps. It helps with the gas, because it is, when you do this, you're going out, because you're not paid for it. I mean, I see every now and then, I don't know if it's a screw up on YouTube's part, but every now and then I'll see a ad on my videos. And it's sort of weird because it's just all of a sudden there's an ad that comes up and you're like, oh, what's that doing there? If it's a test run or like I said, this is a mess up on their part, but once you hit that 1,000 subscribers and the 4,000 watch hours, then you can you become a YouTube partner and you actually start getting paid for this. Next card is this one right here. It said, I'm grateful for more than just what you've done. And one of the folks that, Kate, she comments quite a bit. And I appreciate the gift as well, Kate. But she's one of the first people to comment on my photography, on the videos, just like Colleen. Really, thank you, Kate, because your support means the world to me, and you've just been so kind, and the gift meant the world. That all really, really helps right now, and it does, every single one of these, the cards, the gifts, and those types of things, they really do help you as you're trying to build this channel and put out content and do all that. Last but not least, I am actually going to flip the camera around because I had my first package from Kathleen, and unfortunately a lot of the snacks and that type of stuff that was sent, they no longer exist. They're in my belly, no longer in my belly, they're somewhere else, but she sent a number of other things that I can't eat. So I'm going to show you that just quick and then say thank you to Kathleen. Alright, so here is Kathleen's. Actually, the box is right over here. It's quite a decent sized box. A lot of different food stuffs in there. These are the things, which is mushrooming without fear. I may wind up giving that to Cliff because that's something that's more up his alley, and he does more of the mushroom thing, because I love mushrooms on my pizza, but I have no interest in going out in nature and getting them because I don't want to die. Because I'd be the stupid person that actually would kill myself. She makes a lot of really cool things that she knits and stuff like that. So there's some socks there, some other socks, cribbage. Never played that before. And then some of these books, like I really enjoy World War II history. And I got a number of books. I just find the engineering and just the things that, like, the different sides of the war, whether it's the Allies or the Axis, how they handle themselves, and like the technologies, the engineering. So it is it's going to be an interesting book. Don't like Nazis, nobody does, but it's still pretty cool. And she got me as well Uncle Tom's Cabin, which I have read that before. Very good book. I do recommend that. I'm excited about reading it again because I also got a book as of late that has to do with the Underground Railroad in central Pennsylvania. Unfortunately, there's nothing in there that I've seen about that community called Africa or Joseph Johns, but it'll still be cool. More, it's about the Gettysburg area and Hanover area, where I guess the leadership was when they were just getting people across the Mason-Dixon line into Pennsylvania and then heading them north, and about how they used the Appalachian Mountains as the main conduit more than anything. But yeah, there's a few other books here, like Country Doctor's Book of Remedies, Monsters in My Tummy. I'm going to give that to Cliff too. I keep on threatening him with that. But yeah, it was really cool. A lot of stuff. And like I said, there was a lot of different grocery things and stuff like that, and they came in useful. So I want to say thank you to Kathleen for that package. It means a lot. And once again, I want to say thank you to everybody for everything that they've given, because it does mean a lot. And thank you once again for supporting the channel, and we will see you all about town. Thanks, everybody.